It's episode 190 of The Next Best Bet. I'm Jake Higgins with Brett Levy as always, and it continues. The highs, the lows. Brett, I went 1-3 again, so taking my licks. It's still, if you follow me on social media though, I gave out some picks in between last episode and this that hopefully made up for it. But Brett, you did continue your winning to in some ways.
Yeah, well, Higgins, I placed a few PGA Tour bets. None of those hit. But, always next week on the tour. It's actually a while till we have a pretty good tournament, I think. I think Bay Hill is the next one, Higgins. So I think we're in Puerto Rico for a little bit and a few lesser tour events until we get the full field back ramping up for the Masters. But I did okay in the hardwood. Most importantly, Higgins, I did not lose my Mlb Lock. I got my money back. No matter how bad you want me to lose, Higgins, I did not do that. So doesn't matter how many times you try and mark me down a unit or put me in the loss column. DePaul did win the game by 3. So no win, but not a loss either, Higgins.
It was a misinput. And hey, my pick of the pods, they're 0-5 to start the season. I'm going to turn it around soon, but if you want to fade me, you're going to have to wait till the end of the podcast to find out what my pick of the pod's going to be. Brett, your Levy Lock, you're 2-0-2 so far, so you're doing pretty well with your Levy Locks, and much better than me so far on the year in terms of units. Moving into Beginners Boulevard, though, let's talk a little bit about betting trends, and that's the volume of wagers placed at a sports book on a certain bet. And typically, this is the amount of wagers that are placed publicly, not the amount of money. Those are two different ways to talk about the betting, right, Brett?
Yeah, definitely good points to raise, Higgins, and I think they're important for people to understand. So when people are talking about betting trends, it's just public betting trends, percentage of the bets, not the amount of money on each side. That is a good note for the people, Higgins.
Sometimes it feels good to be with the public, but also fading the public can also present a lot of winnings as well. Brett, some quick news before we jump into our picks. The MLB Lockout continues. We are a day away before their supposed deadline before they have to start canceling games. What do you think? Our backs finally pressed against the wall, like you were saying.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here, Higgins. Look, if the season gets pushed back a week, I think we're okay, right? If the season gets pushed back, a month, that seems a little riskier, and then, we go from there. So I don't think it's like be-all, end-all time right now, but we're getting pretty dang close, Higgins. Like, you don't want to delay the season more than a week and a half here. You want to start sorting this thing out. And look, I guess you take the positive notes, right? They've been meeting more frequently. They're starting to feel the urgency. They're starting to feel the revenue loss. So, maybe this will ramp up a little bit, but this was the problem everyone had. It's like, why did we wait so long to start? Why didn't we just start this whole negative process in early January, and then we would have had 2 months of all this nonsense?
We've been locked out since the winter meetings in December, and you're right, they didn't really start talking again till late January. Now it's go time. Are you going to come together and get an agreement or not? I think they're still far away. I saw agent Rachel Luba post something earlier this week about how April is one of the worst attended months of baseball. So for the owners, it has some of the worst revenue. However, they still would be paying the players a full rate. So it's not the worst month for the owners to lose in a trade deal necessarily. But in terms of fans, in terms of getting a quality season, especially coming out of COVID, especially coming out of these strange times, you want to get a full season or as close to it. So I agree, a week, maybe 2. It's going to be interesting to see how these talks go, though, in these coming days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if April's a bad month for the owners, Higgins. I think they do all right in April. They got opening weekend. There's usually, I want to say there's usually like a big Heritage Day or something in Major League Baseball that first month as well. You usually get some big games. There's a lot of excitement for the beginning of the season. It's not really the NBA Finals or anything yet, so I think there's some pressure. I don't know if
I agree with you. I think that might just be a player agent spin trying to get some take out there.
sympathy, some
I don't know. I liked
sympathy.
it. I found it kind of interesting though, because after opening day, tickets do probably decline at least in most ballparks for the beginning of the season pretty
No one's
quickly.
out of it yet. Like you still have some hope.
Speaking like a Mets
Seems
fan in
like
April.
this seems like a little bit of a sympathy play here. I don't really know about that.
All right, all right. Well, let's just get into our NBA picks then. How about that? And talk about what really matters because the MLB we have no control over that, and we're just going to be on social media with everyone else. It'll be interesting to see though. They said February 28th is the day they need to make a deal. Jumping into NBA picks though, Brett. This over under I found when I was putting together this rundown between the Hornets and the Bulls is all the way up at 241 and understandably so because the Bucks have hit 8 straight overs. But the Hornets on the other side have hit 3 straight unders. They're playing tonight. I think they're going to go to Milwaukee, maybe not have their big guys in, maybe get blown out, and it's not going to be a 241 type game, and it's when the Bucks 8 game streak of hitting overs gets snapped. It's a little too high of a number for me. So I'm taking
Yeah,
the under.
I think that's fair, Higgins. 241 is a very big number. Yeah, I think, it's high for a reason, right? These teams score a lot, but I think 241 feels like a big number. Both teams need to score about 120 each.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you there on
It's
that
a
one.
10-point spread, so maybe 125, 116 and Charlotte covers, but that's still a really really high. I mean, the Hornets have been dealing with injuries all season long, and even coming out of the All-Star break, who knows how healthy they're going to be playing in this game coming off of a back-to-back like that? I don't know. I don't necessarily like the over-under sitting at 241. And so the night before, I'm taking the under because Charlotte's still playing right now as we're making this podcast.
Fair enough, Higgins. I think I'm with you on that one as well. I'm looking over at this
They're in
Bulls Heat game.
overtime as we're recording right now.
How about that? Tired legs, Higgins. We
Tired
need
legs.
tired legs. I'm looking over at this Bulls Heat game, Higgins, tomorrow night, Monday night. Chicago comes into town, and Miami's been really good this year, Higgins, good on their home court. Chicago just letting up I believe, a season high or career high for John Morant. So congrats to John Morant. That was a big game against the Bulls, but I think the Bulls come in a little focused here, Higgins. I don't know if they get the win, but I think this comes down to the last few possessions here. And I think Chicago keeps this one really close. I think this is a tight game, a good game. I think Donovan and Coach Spoelstra are good coaches, Higgins. They draw up good late game stuff, get their teams prepared. So I'm just looking forward to a good close game. I can't really predict a winner in this one, which is why I think it's within that 3.5 there.
I really like that game too. I think it's going to be the game of the night to watch, potentially at least on the East Coast in terms of that time frame. But I wasn't really sure the night before in terms of these lines. I was going to wait closer to tip off before I probably find my way onto this game. But that over under sitting at 225.5 right now, that's pretty tempting as well.
Yeah, I don't really have a feel for that either. I mean, this game could go 3 overtimes, Higgins, and fly past that number.
Or it could
Or
be a defensive
yeah,
game that's
exactly.
under 100 for each team. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I guess, Chicago very offensive oriented right now, but yeah, I think Miami really complete right now. Adebayo's playing really well for Miami too, so they're kind of clicking right now. I'm kind of talking against myself here, so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, let's just move on to the college basketball. Talk about some more games going on there, Brett. Syracuse at UNC. It's been hard to watch the Orange this year, Brett. There was the Coach K send off last weekend. Now Syracuse goes down. Roy Williams is already gone from the Tar Heels, though, but still, Syracuse underdogs by 7 points in a season that they've had highs and lows. They've been streaky.
Yeah, it has not been a great year for the Cuse Higgins. A pretty unfortunate season. Losing to Georgetown, obviously the low light of the year, and that includes a loss to, I believe, Colgate as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a little unfortunate, but I think people are a little too short-sighted. People are like, "Oh, should Jim Boeheim retire?" Like he wasn't in the Sweet 16 last year. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't been to Final Four since 2010. So, look, I think obviously expectations always high in Central New York. We've seen Coach K step down. We've seen Roy Williams step down. So it's it makes sense. Everyone's looking at Jim Boeheim, wondering, but there's a guy at Tennessee coaching who's pretty up there in age, Rick Barnes, Leonard Hamilton at FSU, also up there in age. So there's a few guys on watch. Jim Larinaga at Miami, Higgins. So
And it's not like this question's new for any of these guys. They've had to deal with these questions for years and years, and they keep coming back. Boeheim has a deal with Syracuse. Whenever he wants to go walk away, he can. But he's going to be the coach until he wants to step down. That's fine with everyone in Syracuse because he is Syracuse basketball.
yeah. But we got some bets to get to, and look, you mentioned the North Carolina game. I'm going to be fading the Cuse Higgins. I had a few moneyline parlays, to be honest, before I got in the show sheets and was trying to find some spreads, some more casual betting lines for us to be on Higgins, but didn't really love any. So here are my parlays that I'm on personally. I know it's hard to tail parlays, Higgins, but it's so difficult to win, but I'm on UNC moneyline, Hofstra moneyline, Iowa moneyline, UCLA moneyline, and that's about, I'm on a half unit right now, but that's about 1 to win 1.2 units right there, Higgins. And then you get, I'm on another parlay, and I'm on Hofstra. They're taking on Charleston. I'm on them in both bets. And Wyoming is slight dogs at home versus San Diego State, Higgins. So I like that as well. I think Wyoming's pretty good. Not that San Diego State isn't good, but I think Wyoming's a pretty good basketball team. So I'm on that, a full unit, just 2 games. And that pays 2 to 1, Higgins. So not too bad there.
So really bullish on Hofstra, though, because that's in both of your parlays.
Yeah, Hofstra taking on Charleston. I think Hofstra, best team in the CAA. 5.5 point favorites. I want to say their conference tournament starts this week. I should probably double check and make sure this is not the first game of the conference tournament. But I believe it's the last game of the regular season.
Okay. I have one college basketball pick, and it's involved with your parlays, but I think we're good because I'm just on an over-under in it, and it's so it's nothing to do with your Iowa money line that's in one of your parlays. But in that Iowa Northwestern game, I am taking over 152, and it's because Iowa at home, over-under-wise, has been really, really strong. It's, I believe, like a 17-4 type of scenario that they've been or sorry, 19-8 is their overall over/under record so far this season. They're 7-3 in their past 10. So Iowa's been hitting them really well, and Northwestern is going to have to show up a little bit if they are going to play with Iowa, and it's just the energy that Iowa brings. It's going to lead to a high-scoring game for everyone. I think it just leads to buckets.
Yeah, I can't say I'm with you 100% here, Higgins, just because I don't have that much faith in Northwestern. But you mentioned some stats that may prove reasons why to be on the over, and I may look foolish for not hopping on with you. But I just don't see this one being a 152. This has 60 to 50 written all over it to me. And it just feels like a slow game between two teams trying to get in the flow of their offense. And look, Iowa very talented, can shoot the ball really well, Higgins. They shoot 50% from three for half, and all of a sudden, this over is well within reach. But that's just not the feel I have for this game. Anytime I see Northwestern on a jersey, Higgins, I just want to bet the under.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. However, Northwestern, they're 50-50 on over-unders this year. So the bet's not really about them. It's about Iowa's track record at home. And I misspoke earlier. I think I said 17-4. They're 12-4-1 at home, the Hawkeyes are. So in terms of hitting overs. That's a tremendous track record, even though it's up high at 152. Let's look at some of the recent total points that they've had to face. 162, 154, 153, 149, 159, 146. They were 4-3 over those, or 4-2 over that stretch that I just mentioned there. And that's all right around this over/under that we're mentioning. So I think it's gonna get up there. It's just, can Northwestern keep up a little bit? A little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna need Northwestern to score some baskets here. Higgins, there was not much hockey out when we were coming up with our rundown. I don't even know what the full hockey slate is for Monday, if I'm being completely honest. I haven't even looked. Just been enjoying my weekend and watching a lot of basketball, Higgins. So I only know that the Kings and Bruins are playing, and guess what? You found a bet in this game.
Yes, there's only 3 NHL games on Monday, and this is the late night game, 10:30 p.m. Boston's on a West Coast road trip right now. They've already been out there for a little bit, so I think they're acclimated to that time frame at this point. And although, like I said last episode, and I was wrong last episode, but they're going to rebound this episode, Boston may be the worst team in the league against the spread, but on the road they are 14-10. So it's when they are at home, they are atrocious against the puck line. So just take Boston -1.5 at +198. They're already favored to beat the Kings in this on the money line. Look at them; they're -137. So bet on there to be an empty netter. Bet on there to be a few extra goals. I'm betting on this one to be potentially higher than that. We don't have an over/under for this one, so I'm just taking Boston -1.5 +198.
Fair enough. I have no true opinion on Kings Bruins, Higgins. My Rangers lost a tough one to the Penguins over the weekend. Tristan Jarry,
but they beat the Capitals when I
unbelievable.
picked the Caps last week episode. So,
Well, you shouldn't bet against my favorite team. You're
yeah,
just rude. That's what you get for being rude.
You did raise the Lundqvist flag in front of me, and I think that completely negated anything I said against them. You just trumped me with that.
I wasn't gonna let you win. No. Yeah. I mean, look, I watched that Ranger game though on I want to say it was Saturday afternoon, and Pittsburgh was really impressive to me, Higgins. I don't know, the goal. Tristan Jarry, I guess, has been a little up and down this season, but he looked really good on Saturday, and if that's the guy they have heading into the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous because they've got some goal scorers, they've got some playmakers, so Offensively, they'll be in every game, and if they have the goaltending to compete, Higgins, I'm a little nervous about facing Pittsburgh in the postseason.
Yes, it's going to be a very interesting time seeing Pittsburgh, because I agree they have gotten very good, and they've gotten all their ducks in a row right now. We'll see where they are come playoff time, though. I mean, there's a lot of hockey still to be played. But Brett, let's jump into our Levy locks, pick of the pods. You are undefeated at 2-0-2. I'm completely defeated at 0-5. I think it's pretty it's pretty obvious who has the honors.
I'm confused. How did I go 2-0? Where did the extra pick come from for you?
Because the first episode of the year, you didn't have a pick.
That's tough. We didn't have any games, or there must have been something going on. I gotta remember. Yeah, no, that's a good call, Higgins.
Or I'll go back and find it.
I gotta go back and figure out what I did there. No, I do remember that. There was some reason I didn't have picks. But Bulls Heat is the game I am focused on here, Higgins, because I am not going to give out a parlay for my pick of the pod. So look, I'm going with the Bulls on the road in Miami. I think that's a tough spot, Higgins, but getting the 3.5 points, I think it's going to be a close competitive game. I think these two teams are going to bring it tomorrow night, squaring up, sizing each other up as we get late in the season here. So I'm excited for this game tomorrow. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to the last few possessions here. And because I can't really pick a winner, I think it's within that 3.5 points.
I'm going to find my way onto this game. It's going to be closer to tip-off, though, so we'll see about that. But I like your pick as of right now. I like the line. I'm going to see where it settles down at. I'm going to see where that over-under settles down at. My pick of the pod is the over 152 in the Iowa Northwestern game as well. So Northwestern, on average, they are hitting their overs 2 points more at least. Sorry, what was this stat line? Yeah, sorry. The average that Northwestern is above their over-under in terms of points is by about 2 full points in terms of above the margin that the over-under set at. Iowa, it's about 5. So Iowa's playing around this 152. Northwestern's going to have to play a faster pace to keep up. I think they're going to do it. Iowa could put up 80, no doubt. Can Northwestern put up 70? That's kind of the question.
Yeah, that is the big question, Higgins. I'm going to say no, but I'm rooting for you because I'm not rooting for the book. So I guess I'll say go Northwestern, go.
Go Northwestern, go. All right. Well, let's see. Talk to us on social media, at NBB Pod on Twitter, at Next Best Bet on Instagram, and the Next Best Bet Facebook page and YouTube channel. This has been episode 190 of the Next Best Bet. For Brett, I'm Jake. We'll talk to you guys again soon.